In 1968, the United States Mint produced millions of Lincoln pennies, small copper coins that many Americans used every day without a second thought. But hidden among these ordinary coins, a few rare and extraordinary pieces were created, coins so special that today, one of them can fetch up to $183,000 at auction. Yes, a simple 1-cent coin that could change a collector's life forever. The 1968 Lincoln penny comes from a fascinating period in U.S. coinage history. During the late 1960s, the mint was dealing with changes in design, die varieties, and production techniques. There were 3 main mints producing the penny that year: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each had its own mint mark. No mark for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco. But it's the 1968S proof penny that stands out, and some of these proof coins hide secrets that even experts took years to uncover. Collectors began to notice unusual varieties of the 1968S Lincoln penny. Some had double dies, where the design elements, especially the inscriptions like "In God We Trust" or "Liberty," appeared to have a ghosted or shadowed image. This doubling was caused by a misalignment during the minting process, and only a handful of these coins escaped the mint in perfect proof condition. These tiny imperfections created an astronomical difference in value. What once was a 1-cent coin became one of the most sought-after rarities in American numismatics. The most famous among them is the 1968S proof double die obverse. This variety shows strong doubling on the inscriptions and the date, making it instantly recognizable under magnification. Because these were proof coins, they were meant to be flawless, polished dies, mirrored surfaces, and sharp details. Finding a double die among proof coins was like finding a diamond inside another diamond. Only a few dozen have been confirmed to exist, making them incredibly rare. In today's collector market, condition is everything. A 1968S penny graded as proof 6/8, red or higher by PCGS or NGC can command a fortune. At auctions, pristine examples have sold for jaw-dropping amounts, with one reaching as high as $183,000. The combination of rarity, historical importance, and collector demand makes it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever struck. Imagine holding a coin in your hand that most people would overlook as pocket change, but in reality, it's a small fortune in copper. So, how can you tell if you might have one of these treasures? Look closely at any 1968 penny you come across, especially those with the S mint mark. Check the lettering and the date under magnification for any signs of doubling. The doubling is usually strongest on Liberty and In God We Trust. If you spot something unusual, it might be worth sending your coin to a professional grading service for authentication. You could be holding a piece of numismatic history worth tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The story of the 1942 Lincoln penny begins during one of the most challenging times in American history, World War II. In 1942, the U.S. Mint faced a major problem. Copper, the main metal used in pennies, was urgently needed for wartime production. The government needed every bit of copper for bullets, shell casings, and electrical equipment. As a result, the Mint started experimenting with alternative metals to replace copper in coinage. This decision would lead to one of the most interesting and valuable chapters in U.S. coin history, the creation of the rare and extraordinary 1940 to Lincoln penny varieties. The 1940 to Lincoln penny was part of the iconic Wheat Penny series, featuring the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and to wheat stalks on the reverse, representing prosperity and national strength. Most pennies from that year were still made of bronze, a mix of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, but some very rare experimental pieces were struck using different metals. These include pennies mistakenly minted on steel or even silver dime plankets. These experimental or error coins were not meant for circulation, but a few escaped the mint and found their way into the hands of the public. What makes the 1942 Lincoln penny so valuable is a combination of history, rarity, and era. The rarest examples were those struck on the wrong metal plankets, coins that were never supposed to exist. One 1942 penny, for instance, was struck on a dime silver planchet, creating a unique color and lighter weight than usual. These rare minting errors are the ones that can fetch staggering prices at auction, reaching up to $185,000 for well-preserved examples. It's this element of mystery and chance that fascinates collectors, knowing that a simple penny could turn out to be a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. The majority of 1942 pennies were produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia no mint mark, Denver marked with a small d, and San Francisco marked with an S, while regular bronze coins from these mints are common and generally worth only a few cents to a few dollars. Any 1942 coin with unusual metal color, weight, or magnetic attraction could be something extraordinary. A genuine steel or silver 1942 penny would immediately stand out. It would look silvery and might even stick to a magnet. Unlike regular bronze cents, these rare coins, when authenticated by grading companies like PCGS or NGC, can change a collector's life overnight. Condition is another crucial factor when determining value. A circulated coin may hold historical significance, but an uncirculated or proof-like specimen with sharp details and no wear commands much higher prices. The most valuable 1942 penny ever recorded, a perfect, uncirculated example, struck on the wrong planchet, sold for over $185,000 at auction. This shows how a small error in the mint can turn into a priceless piece of history. Collectors today are still searching. For many Americans, it's more than just money. It's a symbol of hard work, honesty, and legacy. And that's part of the magic behind the 1994 penny's fame. A coin worth only 1 cent to most people became a small piece of the American dream for those lucky enough to find one of the ultra-rare errors. Imagine the excitement of rummaging through your change, spotting a slightly heavier or doubled coin, and realizing you might be holding something worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Numismatists, experts who study and collect coins, agree that there are still undiscovered treasures out there. The mints produced so many coins in the 1990s that even rare errors could still be hidden in jars, drawers, and old coin rolls waiting to be rediscovered. Every day, new collectors join the hunt, inspired by stories like this one. So next time across a 1994 Lincoln penny, don't just toss it aside. Examine it carefully. You could be holding a piece of American minting history, and possibly a small fortune. The 1994 Lincoln penny reminds us that sometimes the most ordinary things can hide the most extraordinary value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone who just loves the thrill of a good mystery, this coin is a perfect reminder that history, art, and luck often meet in the palm of your hand. Keep your eyes open, your magnifier ready, and your curiosity alive, because the next coin you find could change everything. The 1994 Lincoln penny might look like an ordinary coin, but some rare versions have shocked collectors by selling for as much as $187,000. Most 1994 pennies were made of copper-plated zinc, but a few accidentally struck on the older copper plankets used before 1982. These minting mistakes are what make certain coins incredibly valuable today. The United States Mint produced billions of pennies that year, but only a handful of these rare era coins exist, making them true treasures, hidden among everyday change. Collectors and coin experts often look for signs that separate these rare coins from the ordinary ones. The most important clue is weight. A regular 1994 penny weighs about 2.5 grams, while the rare copper version weighs around 3.1 grams. Some coins also feature a double diera, where the date or the word Liberty appears double due to a misalignment in the minting process. When found in excellent, uncirculated condition, these coins can fetch astronomical prices, sometimes reaching the 6-figure range at major auctions. The Lincoln penny has always been a symbol of American history, honoring President Abraham Lincoln since 1909. Its long legacy and wide circulation make it a favorite among collectors, and stories like the 1994 penny prove that even the smallest coin can carry great value. So next time you find a penny in your pocket or coin jar, take a closer look. You might just be holding a piece of history worth far more than 1 cent.
Numismatists have debated its origin for years. Some speculate that it may have been a mint employee error, a rogue strike made unofficially and smuggled out of the mint. Others argue that it could be a legitimate prototype that was simply misplaced or stolen, only to resurface decades later. Regardless of its origin, one thing is clear: this coin represents a perfect storm of history, secrecy, rarity, and drama. Let's talk about Lincoln's legacy in coinage for a moment. Since 1909, he has graced the humble cent. His portrait is among the most iconic in American coinage. But Lincoln on a $1 coin, that breaks every norm. George Washington, Dwight D. Eisenhower, and Susan B. Anthony have all had the honor, but never Lincoln on a circulating dollar. So why this coin? Some historians speculate that there was a secret push to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth with a larger denomination coin, but the plan was shelved due to political or budgetary reasons. If true, this 1970 to Lincoln dollar may have been part of that lost campaign, a forgotten project that left behind only this one surviving artifact. As with all great mysteries, not everyone is convinced. Some skeptics argue it could be an elaborate counterfeit, albeit one so well made that it's fooled even the best in the business. Others say the coin might be a fantasy piece, created by a third party, not the U.S. Mint. Yet, no concrete evidence has surfaced to disprove its authenticity. And so, the legend continues. Collectors now scour estate sales, junk boxes, and old vaults, hoping for a second specimen. Dealers whisper of private transactions. Museums have even offered to display it not just as a coin, but as a relic of American numismatic folklore. In a world where millions of coins are minted every day, how does one coin rise to this mythical status? It's the perfect storm, a famous historical figure, a denomination never officially produced, the shroud of mystery, the whisper of scandal, and a collector market hungry for legends. And if one thing is certain, it's this: the 1970 to Lincoln $1 coin, whether an official secret prototype, an error, or an incredible enigma, has already secured its place in the pantheon of the world's most valuable and mysterious coins. If you're a collector, keep your eyes open. Check your old collections, because who knows, maybe another one is out there, waiting to rewrite history ... again. And that is the story of the 1970 to Lincoln $1 coin, possibly worth $22 million, a coin that shouldn't exist, yet just might be one of the rarest treasures in the numismatic world.